Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something pretty challenging. It's about understanding why someone might leave a relationship.
Yeah, especially when they leave without much explanation or, none at all.
Exactly. And crucially, how you find peace after that happens.
hmm
We've gathered a lot of insights, articles, research on this,
Mm.
and our mission today is really to boil it down to find those key nuggets for you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We want to pull out the core knowledge, the practical steps for anyone who's been left just wondering, what on earth just happened?
Right.
We want to give you the tools, really, to move towards closure you create yourself.
hmm
Because, well, the sources we looked at are pretty clear on this.
What's that?
That real closure, it doesn't always come from the other person. Often it can't.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
Because there's this specific kind of emotional, well, wreckage, isn't there? When someone just ghosts you or gives some vague non-answer,
Oh, definitely.
it's not just that you're hurt, it's this deep, overwhelming confusion. Your mind just starts racing, doesn't it?
Yep, straight away.
Was it me? Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? And that silence, you mentioned it, the lack of any explanation can feel so much louder, more deafening than any fight.
It absolutely can. And, our deep dive, looking at hundreds of personal stories, shows this is just incredibly common.
Really common, huh?
Yeah. People talk about getting a simple, I just need time, or something even less clear, and then poof, they vanish.
Yo.
And you're left feeling like you're trying to rebuild from ashes you didn't even expect, like from a fire you didn't know was burning.
That's a powerful image, rebuilding from unexpected ashes.
And what's fascinating here, what the research consistently points to, is just how deeply that lack of clear communication messes with us, with our sense of self.
Right.
And that leads back to the core insight that true closure doesn't have to come from them. And like I said, often it just won't.
That idea, it almost feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? We sort of expect the person who ended it to give us the why.
We do. Society kind of sets us up for that.
So, if we're not waiting for their reason, what are the real dynamics when someone leaves? Because this feels like a key point, something really freeing for anyone listening. It's often not actually about you.
Exactly. That's huge. And our sources, everything from behavioral psychology studies to, therapy insights, they show some really common patterns.
Okay.
When people leave, it's frequently less about the person they're leaving and much more about their own internal stuff, their landscape, so to speak.
Internal stuff like what?
Well, they might have been emotionally unavailable to begin with. Maybe they struggled with their own attachment issues that made real closeness feel, well, scary,
Uncomfortable.
right? Or they simply didn't have the skills, the emotional intelligence to talk about what they needed or what was wrong.
So communication breakdown, but from their side.
Often, yes. Or sometimes it's a deep-seated fear of commitment. And not necessarily commitment to you specifically, but just the whole idea of a shared future.
Ah, the bigger picture of commitment.
Yeah. Other times, maybe they genuinely didn't want the same future you envisioned. Or, people change. They might have just outgrown the connection.
That happens too.
It does. And if we look at the bigger picture here, their leaving might just mean they were never actually ready for the kind of depth or honesty or commitment that you were bringing.
Okay.
And this is so vital. That fact is absolutely not a reflection of your worth. Never.
That's crucial to hear.
It really is. Realizing this, even though it hurts at first, can be incredibly liberating because it often means you are actually more ready for real, healthy love than they were.
So if it's not always about us and the reasons are complex, maybe even internal to them, how do we stop that mental pape loop, that constant replaying?
The what-if game.
Yeah, we all do it. Searching for clues, mistakes, anything that might explain it. Our brains just seem wired to crave answers.
But this brings up a really important question. Would those answers actually bring relief? Or would they just offer a different flavor of pain?
Good question.
Because here's what our sources kept showing, again and again.
Yeah.
Even if they sat you down and gave you a perfectly logical point-by-point reason,
Yeah.
it wouldn't actually undo the hurt. It wouldn't change the fact that it happened.
True. The outcome is the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the real breakthrough, the absolute core of finding closure yourself, isn't about getting answers from them. It's about acceptance.
Acceptance.
You have to kind of consciously stop searching for their words and start tuning into your own internal truth.
And what is that truth?
It's actually quite simple, but really profound. They left. It hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But I survived it. and I will thrive.
Right, owning your experience.
Precisely. The healing really kicks in when you decide to stop waiting for their explanation,
Yeah.
whatever it might be, and you start writing your own ending to that chapter.
That completely reframes it, doesn't it? From waiting to writing. It's amazing how much we look outside ourselves for validation when, like you said, the power is internal.
It really is.
And this leads us perfectly into the how. How do you actually do that? Because this is where it gets really interesting. Moving into actual practical steps you can take, especially if someone's ghosted you or hurt you badly or just vanished.
Yeah.
How do you create that closure yourself?
Right. So based on all the research and the therapeutic advice we gathered, it really boils down to 3 core steps, tangible things you can do.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, write the goodbye they never gave you, literally.
Yeah.
Get a pen, open a new document, whatever works. Write a letter to them.
To them, but don't send it.
Exactly. Don't send it. This is purely for you. Pour out everything you wish you could have said, every feeling, question, frustration, sadness. Get it all out.
Cathartic.
Hugely.
Ah.
And once it's all down on paper or on the screen, you decide what to do. Delete it, burn it safely, shred it, or maybe keep it somewhere private. The point isn't their reaction, it's the act of release for you.
Okay, step 1. Write the unsent goodbye. What's next?
Step 2. Remove the reminders. This means actively clearing out your physical space and your digital space too.
Oh, the digital space is a big one now.
It is. Photos, old texts you keep rereading, gifts, that sweatshirt they left, anything that constantly pulls your mind back to them.
Why is that so important?
Because every little reminder can be like picking at a scab, you know,
Yeah.
it just reopens the wound, even slightly. The goal is to make your space feel like yours again, reflecting your present and your future, not their past presence in it.
Makes sense. Clean slate, physically and digitally. And the third step.
Third, affirm your worth daily. This is absolutely crucial for like rewiring your subconscious mind, especially after a rejection.
How do you do that? Just think it.
Say it out loud multiple times a day, something simple but powerful like,
Yeah.
I was enough. I am enough.
Okay.
Their leaving doesn't define me. It actually frees me. It
Right.
frees me to find what is truly meant for me. You need to actively counter that narrative of not enough.
I was enough. I am enough. Their leaving frees me.
Yes. Because ultimately, this whole process shows that closure is self-created. It isn't really about forgetting they ever existed. It's about freeing yourself from that version of you that still feels like you need their explanation to be okay.
Wow. That's powerful. It sounds like it takes real deliberate effort, though.
It does. It's conscious work.
But the payoff seems huge. You hear these stories, right? People who commit to this kind of process and then eventually the intense pain just softens.
It does. It's usually not some big lightning bolt moment, more like a quiet, gradual shift.
Yeah, like one day you just notice, it doesn't gut punch me the way it used to.
That's it, exactly. That's closure kind of sneaking up on you, arriving quietly on its own schedule once you've made space for it.
And when you feel that shift, that softening.
That's when you can take a really deep breath
Yeah,
and maybe even find a different perspective. You might be able to genuinely say, you know what, thank you for leaving.
really. Thank you.
Yeah, because now I actually get to find someone who chooses me completely, without hesitation.
Yeah.
Someone who's ready for what I have to offer. It's a total reframe.
From victim to, well, someone who's been set on a different path.
Precisely. You are not abandoned. You are redirected.
Redirected. I like that. And maybe the final thought is the kind of love that is meant for you, that real, reciprocal, healthy love, it's probably not going to leave without a reason you can understand, because that kind of love values you too much for that kind of exit.
Beautifully put. And that really circles back to the whole point of this deep dive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Understanding why people leave, figuring out how to create your own closure.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally about profound personal growth.
Yeah.
It empowers you to take back the pen, rewrite your narrative, and move forward. Not just despite what happened, but actually strengthened by navigating it.
And that really is the heart of it. If you're going through this, know that you are loved and you are definitely not alone on this path.
Absolutely not.
This whole process, diving deep into understanding it all, it ultimately leads you right back to discovering this incredible, resilient strength you have inside yourself.